What is human rights law HRL versus IHL? Imagine living in a world where your rights are protected no matter what, but also a world where rules change when war begins. That's the core of understanding how human rights law and international humanitarian law work together. Both aim to keep people safe, but they do so in different ways and different times. Human rights law is like a safety net that covers everyone all the time. It protects your freedoms and rights during peace and even during conflicts. It says you have the right to speak freely, to a fair trial, to be free from torture, and to be treated equally. These rules are made to protect individuals from abuses by governments or other authorities. Human rights law applies everywhere a country has control, but it can also reach beyond borders in some cases. International humanitarian law, on the other hand, is specifically about war. It is also called the laws of armed conflict or the law of war. Its main goal is to limit the suffering caused by fighting. It protects civilians, wounded soldiers, prisoners of war, and medical workers. It sets rules on how wars are fought, like what weapons can be used and how prisoners should be treated. It applies only when there is an armed conflict, whether it's between countries or within a country. One key difference is when these laws are in effect. Human rights law is always active, even during war. International humanitarian law kicks in only when fighting happens. Another difference is who they bind. Human rights law mainly binds governments and sometimes non-government groups that act like governments. International humanitarian law binds all parties in a conflict, including non-state armed groups. Protection also varies. Human rights law covers personal freedoms and protections in everyday life. International humanitarian law protects people and objects during war, like cultural sites or the environment. Enforcement is different too. Human rights law allows individuals to claim violations through courts. International humanitarian law relies on criminal courts to punish war crimes. Both laws share principles like prohibiting torture and discrimination. During conflicts, international humanitarian law usually takes precedence because it is more specific. But if a situation isn't covered by war rules, human rights law still applies. The Geneva Conventions are the main part of international humanitarian law. They set detailed rules to protect civilians, wounded soldiers, and prisoners during war. These rules aim to reduce suffering and respect human dignity when fighting occurs. They work alongside human rights law, which guarantees basic rights that are not stopped by war. In simple terms, during war, international humanitarian law guides how fighting happens and protects victims. Human rights law continues to protect individual freedoms and rights at all times. Knowing how these two bodies of law work together helps ensure everyone's safety and dignity, even in the toughest times.